Another section of the Tooth Atlas, which is really good for self-study and lecturing, is the Synopsis section. And you get to it by going up here on the menu bar and clicking the Human Dentition icon. What this does is it takes you to a section that was developed by Charles Goodacre from Loma Linda University, and it's a multiple set of ways of looking at the same information. So let's go in here, for instance, and we'll look at the interactive tooth comparison section. This is designed to illustrate principles of comparisons of, for instance, tooth types. We'll go into the maxillary incisors, and you can pick tooth number 8, and you can see what that particular tooth looks like, number 7, number 10, etc. We'll go back to the main index. And there are a set of PowerPoints and PDF files. These are the same information. If you click the PowerPoint, you end up with a PowerPoint presentation that if you're an instructor, you can use that in the classroom. You can use it for self-education. The PDF file, on the other hand, gives you the same information. You can print it out if you'd like. We'll go back to the main index again. And one of the more clever parts of this is this tooth identification self-assessment examination. And this is designed to be an interactive teaching aid to show you the thought process to go through with the identification. And it can be used self-study. It's very effective for that, but it's also very effective to use in the classroom as kind of a group quiz. So let's go to the maxillary incisors here for a second. And in fact, let's just select all teeth so we don't know what we're going to come up with. And we'll start the quiz. So now what we have to do is look at this, and the first question we have to do is determine what tooth category does it go into. Is it a maxillary molar, mandibular molar, central, etc.? So pretty clearly, because it's multi-rooted, this is a molar. It's a maxillary molar because of the configuration of the roots here. So we're going to put in maxillary molar. Now what happens, we got that right because we got the check mark. There are all types of characteristics here that you will look for in this, and you're going to check and see if that is the case. So does it have a cusp of Carabelli? No. Distal lingual root, facial cusp equality, oblique ridge sizes, number of supplemental grooves, root proximation and curvatures. So this is a descriptor of what these would be. And it shows you, tells you what characteristics you'd find in a second molar versus a first molar. Supplemental grooves, for instance. Now we can't see the supplemental grooves, so it's not applicable. We'll go through these. You'll notice that some of these are applicable and some of these are not. So the distal lingual cusp height and presence is applicable to this specific image. If this was another type of image, these other might be applicable. So there's only one characteristic in here of all of these different characteristics that will apply to this particular image. So we're going to say this is a first molar. The next thing we have to decide, is it a left or a right? And my inclination says that it's a left, so we're going to say this is a left first molar. We'll choose that, and we get the incorrect answer. We'll call it a right first molar, and we got the right answer. You notice there's the different nomenclatures down here. So it's a way of judging the characteristics that you can see. We'll go to the next tooth. Now we have to decide, is this an upper or a lower? Single rooted, so it does not have a typical crown form of anterior, so it's probably a premolar. And my guess would be it is a mandibular premolar. So we'll select that, and that's correct. Crown outline form is viewed occlusally. We can't see that, so that's not going to be applicable. Presence of mesiolingual lingual developmental groove, we can see that, and that would say it's a second premolar. Number of cusps, second premolar. Marginal ridge form, facial lingual cusp height difference. So these are all second premolars. And so you could go down through these, select all these different characteristics. So now we're dialing ourselves in to whether it's a first premolar or a second premolar. We're going to say it's a second premolar based on these characteristics. And I'm going to take a wild hunch and say it is a left second premolar. We'll choose that one, and I got it right. So finally got a right answer. But you can go through this test. There's actually 453 different questions like this, and they're based on all types of different images. Let me illustrate that. Occlusal view, lingual view, buccal view, occlusal view, full tooth view, occlusal incisal view. So as you can see, it's a way of trying to identify these teeth from different angles. And this is a very cleverly done teaching aid, and it's both applicable to the instructor in the classroom and to the student studying alone.